28th at 5:30 p.m. I'll now call this meeting to order and roll call, please.
Mr. Taylor?
Here.
Mr. Green? Mr. Wilson?
Here.
Ms. Laster? Here. Mr. Galloway?
Here. The main reason we're here at 5:30 is to talk about the TAP project discussion. Matt with CDG Engineering has a presentation, and if there's times, I know we got several property owners or people from the square, so that's great. I'm glad you're here. Have the opportunity to, and if we do run out of time, I will ask that right at 6, if we're not quite finished, just remember or write down what you need to know, and we may have to come back and do this again or get more information, okay? So, but thank you all for being here. Matt, I'll turn it over to you. Sure.
All right, thank you all for the opportunity to come and talk about this project. As Mr. Taylor had mentioned, my name is Matt Halls. I'm the CDG engineer. My office is in Gadsden, not too far up the road, and been involved in this project for a little while now. We were engaged after there was of course, a pedestrian fatality on 21 in November of 2022. At that point, ALDOT had commissioned a pedestrian safety study along State Route 21, went all the way from Jacksonville State all the way to the south side of the public square. And what we're going to talk about today is representative of the recommendations from that pedestrian safety study. The corridor was looked at. How can you improve safety for the pedestrian, primarily because, as you know, it's primarily geared towards vehicular traffic right now. And so there is opportunities to increase the safety of those that will be traveling through. So during the course of the study, ALDOT met with several representatives from the city as well as Jacksonville State University to identify where the needed improvements needed to take place, and the public square being one of them that they settled in on where some improvements could be made. This concept, I believe, has been seen. I'm not going to show you anything new today. We're just getting started with early portions of planning, design discussions. What I'm going to show you is the recommendations from the ALDOT pedestrian safety study. I believe the concept has been presented at council already this year. In addition to that, there has been a public involvement meeting, just to remind you, that was held at the Public Safety Complex in, I believe it was in February earlier this year, where everyone was invited to come out and take a look at it and give any thoughts and comments that they may have had. I would also mention that this is a collective effort. The city sponsored this project. Jacksonville State University has also sponsored a project that's currently under design up close to their campus with another phase of the pedestrian safety improvements. So it's really a community-wide effort to try to improve the pedestrian safety along the State Route 21 corridor. All right, can you advance the slide, please? Okay, so what I've got up on the screen here is just a view of the pedestrian recommendations along the public square. I'm going to highlight a few things that are integral to the recommendations so that you'll get an idea of what the scope of work is. Would you mind advancing again? Okay, so those locations that are highlighted on your screen are going to be locations for new pedestrian warning systems. Those are existing crosswalk locations right now. However, they're signed. They're really not. They're passive, what we call passive signage. They are, just retro-reflective signs right now, which are, of course, MUTCD standards, federal standards. However, there is improvements that can be made to further enhance those crosswalk locations that were recommendations of this study. Primarily to put warning systems in place that are more active. And so it would be an opportunity for someone who wants to make those crossings to actually press a button and the sign will flash. It gives what's called a rectangular rapid flashing beacon approach. And so when you got over 21,000 vehicles that are going along 21 every single day, you have the opportunity for a lot of vehicular and pedestrian conflict. And so in locations where there is lots of opportunity or lots of risk, if you will, for pedestrian conflict, then those are ideal locations for pedestrian warning systems. Can you advance the slide one more, please? Okay, so this would be what it would look like in concept on the south and north, very south and north end of the public square, those crosswalk locations. You can see the rapid flashing beacons are located just below the pedestrian signs, in between the signs that are present on that signpost, if you will, and there'll be push buttons, and you can press them and they'll rapidly flash. And the good thing about those things are, just some statistics about those types of warning systems, is that they reduce pedestrian vehicular crashes by up to 47% when they're located on a crosswalk. Especially at a mid-block crosswalk like this, where you don't have a traffic signal, you don't have a stop sign that is encouraging motorists to stop anyways. This is at what's called an uncontrolled crossing, or a mid-block crossing, and so those are kind of high risk because you don't already have that stop sign, that signal in place. These would reduce that by almost 50% and increase motorist yielding rates by up to 98%. And so that's what we're really after, is for folks to identify that somebody's not just could be in that crosswalk, but when you see it flashing, there's somebody in that crosswalk or about to be in that crosswalk. So that really, really helps to improve the safety of the pedestrian that's trying to make that crossing. As I said, those are at two different locations on the north and south side of the public square. Can you advance one more time? And then at the midpoints of the square, it would look just a slightly different, same type of scenario, same type of warning system, just the way that it would be oriented is just a little bit different. And that's a representation of that. You may have noticed also that there would be additional lighting would be put in. The safety study after safety study has yielded to the fact that when you increase the amount of light on a crosswalk location, that it dramatically improves the safety for that pedestrian as well. So those things in concert will work to help improve those crosswalk locations. A total of 4 locations for those warning systems: north, south, and then at the mid block, or at the midpoint, I mean. Okay. Can you go one more? Okay, back to where we were. To highlight another thing that was recommended is the construction of some median buffer between the existing parking areas and the travel lanes of State Route 21. So if you could hit that one more time, it'll highlight what I'm talking about there. Those are shown as, currently shown as concrete. They could be concrete and or landscaped or some kind of green space, so don't get too much caught up on that. But what it will help to do is to try to delineate the parking area from the actual travel lane of State Route 21, so that you're not forced to back out into the travel lanes of 21 if you're parked at the storefronts. So that improves not only the vehicular safety, because they're not backing into a live travel lane, but it also serves to shorten the distance of your pedestrian crosswalks at those locations as well, which is also a way to improve the safety of the location. The shorter the distance that they've got to get across a live traffic lane, the safer it's going to be. Makes sense, right? And so those are a couple more recommendations resultant of the safety study. Can you advance one more? Okay, and on these locations that are highlighted now, I don't know if you're familiar with the area, you probably know this, but there's very little sidewalk space on the very corners of the buildings or the existing right-of-way space at each north and south end of the public square currently. Really not hardly enough room for a pedestrian to get onto a ramp, much less be visible as they try to start crossing in the scenario where they would cross in those crosswalk locations. And so if you increase the visibility of the pedestrian as they are standing there queued waiting on a crosswalk, their opportunity to cross the crosswalk, that's also a way to increase safety. And so what you're seeing is some additional sidewalk space that's created by when the highway's kind of shifted over a little bit to make more room for those queuing pedestrians to stand there and wait on an opportunity. They can see approaching traffic better, and approaching traffic can see them better. Okay, can you advance one more? Okay, to be able to do all that, you may have picked up on it already, but the recommendation from the safety study was to to kind of shift the highway lanes in towards the public square. Now, that may sound like counterintuitive to you, but it's going to, I guess the net benefit is that you're going to have the opportunity to do a lot of the things I just mentioned when you do that. You'll have a little bit greater sight distance, I believe, as you come around the curves there, where it's not so drastic. You'll have the space that's needed for those median buffers that I was talking about for the vehicles that will be backing up. And then you'll gain some area on the corners for that pedestrian queuing for those crosswalks on the north and south side. When that happens, however, you will lose a few parking spaces on the inside. And that's what I've got highlighted right here with those orange colored dots, if you will. There's three existing parking spaces on the inside of the square right now on each side of the east and west side. And so when you shift over, you'll lose those, of course, to be able to make that shift. Which is not ideal, but I think the recommendations of the safety study was that the net impact was positive for doing that. It was better in the long run to have that in this manner rather than to have a few additional parking spaces on the inside of the square. Rather, try to encourage people to be on the outsides where the merchants are at anyways, where they probably want to be anyways. So outside of that, I know there's a lot of green space that's shown here. I don't want you to get too focused on the loss of parking spaces outside of that, because this is just a concept that was just overlaid on an aerial, okay? Actual design needs to take place, planning, all of those things on the front end to be able to determine what the actual net impact is to parking spaces around the outside, if any. I'm not going to sit here and say that you won't, it won't be in your best interest maybe to lose one or two here or there, but we're trying to work to minimize that with early planning of the outside space that you see around the building fronts. So stay tuned on that, I guess. That remains to be seen what the specific impact is there. All right, I do want to highlight also that there should be no loss of total ADA accessible spaces through the course of this project. That's not the anticipation whatsoever. Okay, can you advance one more, please? All right, so as Council President had mentioned, the city was awarded an Alabama Department of Transportation Alternatives Program, or TAP, funding in the amount of $800,000. It does require a 20% city match, and so that would roughly equate to the budget that you see there below: $800,000 in TAP funds, $200,000 in city match, a total of $1 million total project, which would include all phases of construction, not only your construction dollars, your preliminary engineering, also your CE&I and so forth. So that's a total budget. Now, being a little sensitive to that, I did want to make mention of some of the things that we do as we go through design that helps to mitigate any increases in budget, and therefore any increases in predicted city match being above what you've already talked about. Let me talk about that in just a moment. We like to go through and hit specific milestones in design and do cost estimates, opinions of probable cost of what it could bid out as we go through. And so we anticipate with this project at 30% complete design, we'll have an estimate to look at, 60%, 90%, and then final. And so those in themselves are opportunities to kind of say, okay, we feel like this thing is within budget, and we've got as much money as we need to be able to do everything that's been recommended. Or we say, okay, well, it seems to be trending a little bit higher. Let's start to talk about what the priorities are, and let's make sure that we get a project that's right-sized for the council and for the city, right? And so we can do that through checkpoints, regular checkpoints as we go along through design. Also, if we see that that the actual costs are going to trend a little higher, one thing that we can do is begin to talk about using a base bid and additive alternate approach. And what that allows the city to do is to, in the terms of priority, to put the highest priority items inside of a base bid, and then the things that are negotiable, if you will, or I wouldn't say the wants, but the things that are less down on the priority list. If money was unlimited, you do it all. But if you don't have as much money as you would like in the budget, and you're trying to maintain a certain amount of match, then you can say, okay, these things down here we can put as additive alternates, and that gives you flexibility. On bid day, say you do get a good bid, you add the additive alternate in, and you're within budget. But if you don't, then you can choose to award base bid only, and so forth. So it gives you flexibility on bid day when you actually get actual contractor pricing, through the competitive bid law, the way that it's required to be done to make a well-informed decision and get the project size that you want. So those are some things that we can do to help maintain the budget as we go along. And so through constant communication and through just discussions with the city and those that are going to be helping plan this project out, we'll get ideas for what those priorities are and build that in. Last thing that I want to talk about is the schedule. The TAP program itself requires 2 years to complete it from authorization, or authorization within 2 years of award. Rephrase that. And so that means this project has to be bid out to a contractor no later than September of 26th. However, it's anticipated, the schedule is probably closer to 10 to 12 months. So if I had to put my finger on it today, I think we're probably starting construction somewhere in early spring of 2026 based on the process that it takes. Of course, this being ALDOT funded, it has to go through all of their reviews, all their approvals. It's federal funding, and so all of that, I don't say red tape, but the things that come along with that, we will have to make sure we check the boxes on that, which we're used to doing, but it does take time. And so, so that's more realistic schedule. I don't see any reason right now that we would extend past the 2-year allowable award.
What's the probability of it staying on budget?
Probability?
That $1 million, what's the probability of it covering the cost for 2 years delay with inflation and everything else?
Well,
that's because the money comes back to the city that we have to come up with. So.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Probability, I feel good about it right now because I'll tell you what we did on in the construction estimates that we prepared up to this point. We've tried to put a 20% contingency on top of that to help cover any unforeseens, any potential carryover in inflation that might happen in the construction market. So there's already a 20% contingency in that right now. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, that's all I have. The next slide just says questions. So if there's any questions at this point from any.
Chief, did you or the mayor have, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, if you asked your question, I think the chief mayor have anything to add?
I think we talk about it as we talk about it, additive alternate. I said that back.
Okay.
You think, unless you want to talk to you.
Just what I mentioned to you earlier, I thought that if we got to the point where we were trying to make it fit within budget, I think one of the most important parts is making the pedestrian crosswalks safer, so we could make the 2 islands on the north and south as they should be, and then make sure we put the pedestrian crossing signs on the mid-block crosswalks, and maybe not do the green space on the backing out spaces. Would probably make the project a little more cost effective, and we would still be able to make sure that we garner the safety that we're looking for the pedestrians.
Well, wouldn't you have more room to back out from the stores, I think, if you didn't have all that green space and you just had a divider or something?
Well,
what does that do to the safety of it?
I think you've got a real similar circumstance that you have right now, where you would still be backing into an area that's uncontrolled. And so I think the reason behind the recommendation was to help clearly delineate, what was parking versus what was State Route 21, travel way. And so I would recommend looking at it, especially through the early stages. Let's get some actual, construction estimates of what, a design, get some actual quantities going on an actual design and see where we land on it. And definitely want to hear more about where you think the priorities are, see how we can work together, keep it within budget, so.
Quick questions.
Hey, if you don't mind, Stan, state your name
Yeah.
and make sure, because you have to sign the document up here,
Gary
okay?
Humphreys. With the straightening of the streets, the highway going through there, speed's already a concern. We're taking out a curb out of there that actually helps slow down a little bit, but people are still flying that there. What are we gonna do to slow the people down before they get to the crosswalk? Because I think that's a bigger concern than the crosswalk or the backing out right now.
Yeah.
The speed is an issue.
Definitely want to look into some ways that we can do that. One thing we can do is give a good amount of advance warning to these locations, and it will help bring more awareness.
What about rumble strips?
Rumble strips, you can talk to the DOT as we're going through
Because
this.
it works when we put them on the other end when the young lady lost her life.
That has been discussed already. They thought at the time, so for those who have their business right there on the corner, the noise could be an issue with 21,000 vehicles going through a day.
Nobody's asked me about that, and my business is on the corner.
Yes, ma'am.
That is a cost-effective way to slow down traffic, bring a cost back. Yeah, thanks for bringing it up, Gary. It's gonna cost a fraction of the plan that you're looking at right now. It's going to be much more effective in preventing pedestrian injuries and fatalities than honestly what you have right now. And it's going to, honestly, I'm really concerned about what I'm seeing up there, and I've got lots of questions about it. I realize that we're running out of time here, but it looks like from that schematic that you're shutting off complete access to my business. And
That's not the anticipation whatsoever.
glad to hear, because there's a gray shaded area right in front of my business,
No,
and I'm not
that
sure
is
what
not.
that is, but I'm so glad to hear that. I hope you're not taking away our parking spaces, because we already get complaints
Absolutely.
about not having places to park.
Yep.
But the rumble strips do seem like spot on, and I've wondered for years why that hasn't been done.
If I understand it correctly, just to answer your question, I think this is adding a sidewalk.
What magic?
I think that adds a sidewalk right here. Because we're gonna
Right.
shift that lane over, then they'll add a sidewalk to make it, because if you agree, there is no sidewalk right here at the corner of your building.
There is a sidewalk.
Well, barely, I mean, it's probably like 12 inches.
There's a green in front also, where my clients park.
Yeah, there's no loss of parking spaces
Right.
anticipated up there.
Glad to hear it, and the light gray shading there just is for fun.
This, yeah, I'm not really sure, this is not my concept, just to reiterate. This is Aldot safety study.
I think some of it is just
Yeah, I
shadow
mentioned that
from the
earlier.
overhead photo. Also,
If you're talking about that gray space, that's just where the crosswalk starts.
No, right in front of the green space.
Right here.
It's just the road.
I think that's just
Yeah, all that.
pavement,
That's just the road.
just
This is
pavement.
existing.
They just didn't color it the same as the rest of the roads.
Yeah.
That's my concern, because usually that means something, it means a change. So if it was just negligence and making it a different color, or somebody just decided to make it a different color for fun, that's one thing, but
No,
That's
so
where-
this
that's
is like
where
the same.
repainting is
This is
anticipated.
darker because it changes.
Yeah.
I know one of the meetings that we did have with Aldot a couple of months ago, I don't remember when it was, rumble strips were brought up, and that was the response from DOT was, well, it would create a noise hazard. We kind of looked and said, it's kind of one of those that I'm not gonna say you would get used to, but it's part of just that, it's, if you're going at a,
it's preferable, and again,
Yes.
I realize that, I mean, this may be misleading, the way it's put up there, but rumble strips are preferable to losing access to our business.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, let me
if
say it-
we're not gonna lose access to our business.
let me say it
From
real
the north
clear.
to the south, that's fine, but
We are not trying to limit access to anybody's business whatsoever.
glad to hear it.
So the bigger part of what I will say is,
We're trying to-
that's you,
it
chief.
was not the recommendation of the consulting company to put rumble strips, but that was one of the things that the mayor and I did make very clear to Aldot that we wanted to add rumble strips going north going north and south. And one of the AlDOT officials' response to the mayor was that if you want them to take the phone calls, I'll make sure you get them. So,
That was the comment. I couldn't remember exactly the verbiage of that. That was.
so yeah, so the rumble strips have been talked about and have been essentially promised to us if we go through with the project.
But on the north side, there's no businesses there that would be interfering with the noise.
We got about 5 minutes. Is there any other comments from the property or anyone, or especially the property owners or business owners there out on the square? We try to make sure that you were all invited. I know some showed, and I do appreciate you being here. We appreciate your input. We need your input. Just make sure. Did you get enough information just by them
Yeah.
speaking? You got names? Since you forgot. Is there anything else concerning this?
Let me ask Matt one quick thing, Matt.
Yes, sir.
Would you talk just 1 second about the south end of how that crosswalk's changing down there? I think that's pretty significant.
Oh, right, yeah. I neglected to mention that. Yeah, the current concept from AlDOT shows a larger channelizing island, if you will, on the south side there, which would take away a crossing maneuver for vehicles trying to make, I guess in this case, they'd be coming from the top of the screen to the bottom of the screen, or from the west to the east. So you would have to make a U-turn where you're currently, I guess, able to come straight across right now.
And we're on the Slalom Road and we want to make a U-turn.
And you're where? I'm sorry?
We're on the Slalom Road going 21 south where we're going to make a U-turn.
Yeah, I'm not real sure. Honestly, that's something that we typically will work through, if you will.
I
Make
think
sure that we've got all those things covered.
one of the recommendations that I put in my survey was trying to get back to a dedicated turn signal. That's a traffic control left turn signal going south. So that would, so what we're talking about here is you couldn't jut across here to come this way.
Right.
Is here, your next traffic signal is just green it north-south. There's not a dedicated turn.
But you can still come all the way around in a circle. You just can't go straight across on the side streets, correct?
Yeah, you can still come around the circle there, yeah. If you're coming from the north to the south, there'll still be the maneuver to the
It's
left there
accessing from
to
the-
go into Ladiga Street. It's the one that's straight across that would be taken away.
And it's the same thing from Clinton Street here.
You can go all the way around, you just can't go straight from the side streets.
Well, please, if you have any more questions or comments, I'm sure you might. You know how to reach us. If you don't mind, Matt, we may ask you to come back another occasion.
Yeah.
We appreciate your input and your insight and where we've got so far.
Absolutely.
And if you come to Jackson, make sure you stop somewhere and spend some money on the square.
Oh, I come to Jacksonville all the time, actually, and do a lot of work in this area, so looking forward to a good, successful project. Just to reiterate, there's lots of discussion to be had about this project, about some of the finer details. It's not anticipated that anybody's business is impacted negatively. It's supposed to be a positive thing to everyone, and pedestrian safety to be increased. I think everybody can get behind that, so I hope that everybody sees it that way and looks forward to a successful project as well.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. Thank you all. We'll take about a 2-minute break and get started back at 6 o'clock. Thank you all. welcome everyone to the City Council meeting on this October 28th of 2024. I'll call this meeting to order and ask you all to please stand. We have Reverend Robert Fowler from the St. Louis Episcopal Church who's going to lead us in invocation, and remain standing. We have a special guest that's going to lead us in the pledge. Reverend?
First, my apologies. I was slated to give the invocation at, I think, last month's meeting, and I didn't realize the meeting had changed from 7 to 6. So I think Andy had to fill in, so I won't miss it again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Let us pray. Gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing us together, for the freedom to come together to do what is best for our city and its citizens. We live in a country that is very divided in many ways right now, but we are of one mind on one thing, and that is for the betterment of the people that live in Jacksonville and Calhoun County, for this city council, its members, the mayor and his staff, and all of the people that do come together to make this place a safe and pleasant and joyous place to live. So thank you for the work that is before the council, for the citizens, and for minds and mouths coming together in unity. Amen.
Amen. You wanna introduce your guest?
Okay, we have a special guest, Ella Craig, and she's a 5th grader from Kittystone, and she loves softball and volleyball, and she will lead our pledge tonight.
Attention, salute, pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
She did better than any of us could.
She did.
Thank you all. Roll call, please.
Mr. Taylor?
Here.
Mr. Galloway?
Here.
Mr. Green?
Here.
Mr. Wilson?
Here.
Ms. Laster?
Here.
Item 5 is proclamations. Do not believe we have any, so we'll move on to the work session part of the meeting. And the first item is the acceptance of the minutes that were sent out. Any comments, questions, deletions, concerns? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to item B. It's the farmer's market budget. I think Ms. Jennifer Thrash, there you go. You'd like to come up and speak?
Hello again.
Hello.
Hello. The last time I was here, we discussed a couple of things. One was a raise and the other was a permanent location. So I've written down what I'm going to say this time so I don't ramble. A permanent location opens opportunities for us to apply for state grants. Those state grants would cover infrastructure and permanent signage. This would allow the market to become a landmark within the city. This year, the Jacksonville Farmers Market was voted second in Alabama's top 10 farmers markets. We were second only to Tuscaloosa, which is a huge market, but it's pretty impressive. I believe that the permanent location would allow for a better long-term planning. It would increase community involvement and would lead to increased revenue for the city. Again, we are the largest farmers market in Calhoun County and the surrounding areas. We have a longer market season than any of our neighboring communities, and we have an amazing group of vendors, most of which have shown up tonight to support us. Before a final decision is made on the salary that we discussed last time, for the 2025 season, I would like for you to consider that the average salary for a farmer's market manager in Alabama is $73,277. The second lowest paid farmer's market manager in the state of Alabama is $15,500. I would be the lowest paid market manager in the state. That is according to salaries.gov and govsalaries.com. Any money that the market makes from the vendor's fees always goes back into the market. It provides things to promote the farmer's market, like signs, t-shirts. That was a big expense for us this year. A permanent location would maximize the benefit of those expenses. At the last meeting here, I was asked to come up with our top 3 locations that we would be willing to go to. I came up with the old City Hall building being number 1. That's beside the community center. The number 2 would have been the property on Alexandria Jacksonville Highway by Bear Cutlery. And number 3 would have been Germania Springs. All 3 of those locations have since been deemed unattainable for us for different reasons. I've asked if there's anyone that can sit down with me and let me know like what property the city owns, like where we could go. So far, I don't know that there is anybody that can do that so far. The market vendors, as well as myself, feel very strongly about our impact and the importance to the community of the market. It is my sincere hope that you will consider all of the significance and value of the farmers market for any future decisions. And that's all I have. But we do have several vendors that would like to speak.
Just as we move forward with this, I do appreciate everything that you've done and are doing. It may some more conversation needs to be met to find that location that works for all of us. And as far as money and salary, stuff like that, something else we can consider. Worst case scenario for us and you both, if we can't do anything, we can't come to any kind of agreement before next spring, when you're ready to open back up, is it too difficult to stay where you're at while we're still at least in the planning type atmosphere?
No. As long as there's a plan to move forward, I think it will work for
I think
everybody.
that's what I was rambling to say.
Yeah, that's okay. And I discussed the salary with the mayor. I'm not going to walk away, even if you left my salary as what it is. I care enough about the market to stay. Doesn't matter if you pay me or not, honestly.
No, we understand. I mean, we understand it's not an easy job
Yeah,
to try
definitely not.
As we joke, corral the cats.
It is. Yeah.
Every week. But if you have anyone that would like to speak, make sure that you state your name and address, and make sure you sign the document right there on the corner of the paper.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, ma'am.
My name's Joel Thrash. I'm her husband, and I've somewhat taken on the role as assistant market manager of the Jacksonville Farmers Market. I took on the role because I saw how much my wife was having to do, and as a husband, I tried to take some of that load off of her. I set up the barricades, I set up the market, the market table and tent that has the market stuff on it. I assist her in taking up the fees and stuff like that. And since she's taken the position, I've seen her stress very hardly over this position, dealing with getting people in spots that they can handle, facing the sun, not facing the sun, close to a bathroom, not close to a bathroom. She had so much stress on her the first couple of months. It bothered me seeing her in that position as her husband. And she does a lot for the amount of money that she's paid from this city. And I agree with her that a permanent position would be great. And I mean, we bring in a lot of people to this city. Being number 2 on a statewide list is pretty impressive. And we bring people from Ohatchee, White Plains, Piedmont, Anniston, several surrounding cities and outside the county here. They don't just spend their money at the farmers market, they're buying a meal, they're stopping by Walmart, they're getting gas for their vehicles. It's bringing revenue into your city. And that's really all I have to say. But I also have a letter from Brandon Rich, one of our main produce vendors. And as you know, being a state certified market, we have to cater to produce vendors because we have to keep a certain percentage of produce vendors to stay state certified. And this is one of our produce vendors. Brandon Rich says, it seems like the farmers market has been in decline for a couple of years with what seems like no help or interest of the city. Vendors and patrons have found different options. This is not a weekend hobby for us. We make our living farming. It's a shame when we have to go to Anniston and Trussville on Saturday when we have a market in our hometown. Jacksonville could be as good as either one of those with support of the council and the mayor's office. It seems like everyone points fingers in the other direction. He says he wasn't able to make it tonight. If anyone wants to contact him, I have his phone number. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Major.
Oh, okay.
Anyone else like to speak on this topic?
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Teresa Schuring. I'm one of the vendors there, and I can contest how hard Jennifer and Joel work. I can contest how many wonderful customers come in and routinely expect the produce, the goods, the vendors, everything. And this really is our job, and I would just hope that the whole community would come together, your whole staff would come together and realize that this is serious for us. We deserve to work in conditions where the sun isn't beating on us when it is, you know, from 8 o'clock in the morning, it's 85 degrees already. And we're here to provide, you know, for the community and such, but yet that's pretty extreme. But yet here we are, all of us, every Saturday, 7 to noon, bringing in the goods, serving the community with a smile. All of us are family, and we all just really, really insist that if we could come to a conclusion on a permanent location, that's my vote. So thank you.
Thank you. I don't think any of us disagree with the hard work and the effort that's been put in. I don't think you can become number 2 in the state. I will just state for myself, the gentleman that you read his email from about being in decline for the last 2 years, but we're number 2 in the state. That, to me, that just, I'm not a mathematician, but that doesn't add up.
Yeah, and I know he's not here. I'd love to be able to ask why he's not able. He says he wants to be here, but he has to go out of town. Do you know? I mean, I know you can't answer.
No, I'm just reading.
Okay. Yeah. It's like, is it just because there's not enough vendor space? Is there priorities that are given or some, I mean, I know that there's some limits, but I was wondering.
When I asked him specifically, why they were, because it's that's one of the vendors that I talked to the mayor that, we've had several that have left, to go to other markets. We're off of the main road. We don't have the people driving by that see us, that stop because they drove by and saw us. And being off the main road and not being able to put up like permanent signage, like on 21, we're not at that location 7 days a week, so a sign on 21 isn't really feasible. But without that signage and without a permanent location, it's really hard to get customers just like that drive by. And Aniston and Tuscaloosa, Trustful, I think it's the other market you listed, Gadsden, they're all on the main fairway through town in all of the other cities around here. And I know that's not necessarily something we have to have here, but a permanent location would at least allow us to put up signs saying, you know, this is where the farmer's market's gonna be every week from now on.
I think ours is a whole lot easier to get to than Aniston, because you're only a block away
Right.
from 21, where in Aniston, you've gotta go down, was it 10th, 9th, or 10th, and
11th.
Right.
11th. Well, we do that one.
Noble
you're
Street.
close. Yeah.
There's one
I got
block
close.
off Noble Street.
Okay.
Two blocks from
Is it 2 blocks off Noble Street?
Yeah, so, and then, not traffic-wise on Noble Street on a Saturday morning, that's not a whole lot, going there, but I understand what you're saying, and like President Taylor said, we're all in this together and we wanna make it work, it's just finding the right place at the right time, and, I think giving it a little more time will come out a lot better. For your sake and for our sake. And
Right. We don't want to lose it. We don't wanna lose it, so we'll just say.
I like being number 1, so we gotta get there.
We are on the same page.
Anyone else will say anything different? I mean, you're going to speak, the opportunity to do so.
Hello, everyone. My name is Pam Strawder. I have been a part of the Jacksonville Farmers Market for 3 years now. The farmers market has had a significant impact on my life, socially and economically, as I have made lifelong friendships and have been able to bless my family financially. I want to thank the City of Jacksonville, the mayor, the city council, and the public safety complex for providing us a place for the farmers market. Over the past 3 years, it has been increasingly obvious that the farmers market needs a permanent location. Permanent farmers market structures can enhance sales potential by providing consistency and location from year to year, maintaining accessibility for people of all abilities and ages while offering comfortable shopping conditions, rain or shine. And when the rain comes, it can be increasingly difficult. You may be wondering how the farmers market affects the city of Jacksonville and its economy. By supporting local farmers and producers, creating jobs, fostering entrepreneurship, and promoting sustainable practices. A farmers market helps to keep money circulating within the community. Additionally, they enhance community well-being, provide access to fresh and healthy food, and it does boost tourism. The Jacksonville Farmers Market reaches well outside the confines of Jacksonville. I personally, as a vendor, have had the privilege of selling to customers, many of whom are repeat customers. From Center, Weaver, Piedmont, Alexandria, Anniston, Oxford, Lincoln, East Aboga, Mumford, Talladega, Spring Garden, Hopes Bluff, Gadsden, not to mention a family from Ohio that came last year to JSU's homecoming and came back this year because they remembered that delicious fried pie.
You're the one.
It's
sitting thinking, which one of those did the fried pie?
I'm so glad you remembered the pie. And the local honey. People come from all over for those two things. Or the exchange student from Japan that came every weekend to buy homemade bread. I would venture to say that 50%, probably closer to 80% of people that shop at the Jacksonville Farmers Market, like the other one said, they spend their money at other locations within the city. They're going to go to Walmart, they're going to buy gas, they're going to go to Seven Brew, Chick-fil-A. They're going to spend their tax dollars in the city of Jacksonville. Your continued support of the Jacksonville Farmers Market is vital. We want to put the Jacksonville Farmers Market on the map as a destination market. When people are traveling through the area, we want them to put that in their GPS and come and pay us a visit. With the city of Jacksonville giving the farmers market its own fixed permanent location, opens up the market for grants and other opportunities. Please consider all that I have said and what you will hear from some others. And to Jennifer and Joel and the family, y'all have done an amazing job. Y'all are great to work with. They're wonderful. They've kept us together, encouraged us, and thank you all for your time. And come back and get a pie.
Don't worry.
It's gonna be hard pressed to beat me to them.
We might need to negotiate on how many we have.
My name's Marie Catania. I'm one of the vendors at the market. One of the things I wish you guys would consider when you decide on this is whatever location. Jennifer and Joel have done such a great job. The market will grow under their care. So just take into consideration finding a place for us to be permanent, that they have the ability to grow. Because where we're at right now, she's limited. She's definitely limited on what she can do with her farmers market, and it is growing. And all of the vendors out there are family. So make sure you give her a permanent location, but allow the Jacksonville market to grow, because it is a wonderful opportunity for this community, and it needs to grow.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else?
Mr. Mayor and members of the council, thank you for having us this evening. Thank you for the opportunity to address you. My name is Dawn Crook, and I provide soups and cooked canned goods, and my husband has the best honey in Calhoun County. So I believe that we embrace the community of Jacksonville differently than I think some people may perceive. We become family. There are some people a lot of people actually who are regulars, but there are a lot of regulars that we lost when we made the change. I was coming to the market when we were on the square. I was there a couple of years prior to the change. And one thing that we have seen, I'll just say, the location that we're at is there's some difficulties when it has windy days. I actually lost a tent one day, and someone else lost a tent. And what was so unfortunate about that is that particular family barely had the money to pay for the market. They were really struggling, bringing their goods and trying to sell. And so it was a big loss for them to lose that tent, but it was replaced. But know that the wind is a big issue, how it blows up off the little pond, and we're on a hill. So on those days, and with rainy days, we just get blown all over the place. We provide a lot of products, home baked goods. You've heard from others, but we also prepare special items. We have people who come to the market whom we get to know in a very intimate way, I would say, because they do share. They ask about what are the ingredients, and I have this problem. I can't have garlic. I can't have onions. I can't have this or that. I can't have just various things. And so personally, I prepare products for them that I ask them, what would you like, and what works for you, and to listen to what they have to say and then address that. And they're so happy when they come back. And I can't believe I'm the only one doing this, but it really moves us because we care about the community. And to see how happy they are. They say, okay, I can have that. There's so few things that I can have. Or someone who's really on a salt-free diet. I know we're talking about nutrition and diet and that sort of thing, but it makes a difference to people when they come and someone's listened to them. They really give a rip, about what their condition is. So we do make special things, or I'm willing to. I know others are as well. And the other thing is they find products here that the grandmother made, and it just makes them so happy. They come and they're like, oh, my grandmother made that jam. I want some of that, And we have somebody, oh, how much is it? Oh, well, I'm a couple of dollars short. Oh, you can take that. It's okay, not a problem. Or someone else. I've heard my husband say, you just take that jar of honey and catch up with me later. And so, that's the kind of, we're a farmer's market for the community. We care about the community that we're providing goods for. And families come really to engage the seniors, to the vendors. Seniors come to engage the vendors. Sometimes just to talk, they walk around, people who don't have anything else to do. And I think, there are times when people are depressed, and again, I know that the others are thinking about these things, but, everybody doesn't want to say it, but, but we are good for the community in so many ways. And, even, mentally, giving someone hope or just a few kind words, and they enjoy coming and they come back, and they may never buy a thing, but they'll sample. Everybody who has samples, they'll sample and be happy to be there and go home, or come. That's where they walk their dogs sometimes. So but we've become more like a family, and another thing is, I just want you to know, the first weekend that I came, I sold out. I was so happy about it. And I told my nephew I sold out. He said, how many did you bring? I said 3. But I sold out. So the next week I brought twice as many. And I sold out. And so I started increasing my product. And it just gave me so much encouragement. But now, I've been coming for a number of years, and I'm looking toward going commercial. So, and that's what the market has done for me personally. And so, other things are that, I will say that when we were at the square, I sold twice as much. And we have seen a big difference. The location that we're at now, we just don't see as many people. Another thing is, we're out there, it's hot, like other people have said, it's very hot. And so, a lot of people don't want to walk around in that kind of heat, but that's just how it is. But I don't feel like it's the heat that has affected anything. It was hot on the square, which is different. And, the venue is quite different. We had people who walked to the square and seniors who walked to the square. We had students who walked from the college and came to the farmers market. And so it provided something for them. We had parents who came whose students were in the college, and they said, oh, well, I'm going to tell my child about this. This is close enough that they can come. They're looking for something to do. And so, we do provide kind of a community outlet also. And I do want to say that some of the things that our current market manager has done, on July the 4th, we had a bounce house. Now I want you to know there's families that came that couldn't afford to take their kids to do some entertainment. But we have families who come, some have plenty of money, but some don't. And it makes a difference. So we had hot dogs, drinks, decorations, 60 market bucks. For the JSU homecoming parade, we bought the candy, handed out 120 market bucks. Halloween, we gave away a $100 fire pit, and did the costume contest, even for a dog or a cat, even for a pet. So they think about everybody. And so, and the prize for different categories, they were basically $70 each, and $350 total in prizes were given away. And the market also provides water and ice for us, and 20 market bucks every week. And so there's just things that are done that are, encouraging to the community, encouraging to us. It means a lot to us to be able to participate in the farmers market, and it's a big commitment for us to, spend what we need to spend to make the goods that we bring, and we hope that they sell. They don't always. I've had times when I took, a lot of candy back home, and it didn't sell. But it would make a big difference if we would have more, opportunity to sell for more people, if we had, a better venue where we could engage more people. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you all. Once again, I think you've been heard. Once again, I just want to reiterate, we've never had an issue with the market itself. We appreciate what everyone does and the vendors and how much work it's been. We know it's just not magic that it just pops up every Saturday. I know there's a lot of work and time and sweat and tears and fighting the weather. So I do, once again, thank you all, and we will work this out one way or another. We'll find you a place. All right. Thank you all. Thank you all. Let's move on to item C, the mill property discussion. Mayor? Yeah.
We had a contract from Kevin to look at earlier. We have a contract that Richard has put together, looking at what Kevin is saying in the contract from a few years ago. It kind of put weave those into one contract, and I've glanced at it. I really hadn't had a chance to really look at it this afternoon. So I don't know how big a deal it would be to you, Kevin. We wait till next meeting to vote on that, so we can give them a chance to look at it and you a chance to look at it more. Would that be a big deal to you? That's what I would recommend if he's okay with that. I don't want to scare Kevin off again. We postponed quite a bit.
That's it, as long as I know we're gonna do something in 2 weeks.
Just a suggestion. I don't feel real comfortable had not had a chance to look at it.
Last time we held that 2 weeks, somebody else came in and talked y'all into trying to develop it, which never happened. So I don't want that to happen.
No, I understand. It's just a matter of us making sure we've got what we need to in the contracts. I assume Richard's looked at it pretty carefully. He probably has everything, but I feel better if we sit down and talk. If that's okay.
I'm good with that. Anybody else? We're good? Good.
Just wanna make sure we get it done.
Yeah, exactly. So that's just being moving forward, what, the delete 13 to the agenda?
13?
Yeah, 13. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Next item is the mayor and council members' pay and benefits. Anyone want to open that up?
Yeah, I'll open it up. It needs to go up.
Way to jump in there, Cody.
Don't be shy about it.
There's no need to be shy about it.
You want to have thoughts?
What do you recommend? We can't get you up to what you were, Cody, so.
I know. Maybe 700 or 800 for the council. Hang on, I had this all planned out and I'll go look at the numbers.
Is it where we're gonna cut the mayor's salary?
The mayor will donate.
You gonna split it?
And raise the, I said, I don't get the number. So the council president will make 10 to, I think I've fudged those numbers up a little bit more, so. I don't know, it's about 700, 800 for the council, and then the mayor, what do you have now?
Right now, mayor is 2,500.
Yeah, I think we go with 5.
Yeah.
Make that 3,000.
And this hadn't been, we hadn't been this since when?
For our time.
Regular council has not been increased since 1999. Council president has not been increased since 2016, and the mayor since 2012.
What about doing
And you're gonna
800,
be,
1,000, and 3,000?
and you're gonna have to do all, you're gonna have to do this mentor training
Yes.
now too, starting, next term.
But you said it was 1999?
Yes.
If you look at the rate of inflation.
Since y'all's has been
Okay,
increased.
so that's what I just put it in with our, looking at cumulative price change. The CPI in 1999 was 166.6. The CPI, Consumer Price Index, in 2024 is 315. Adjusted 500 in 1999 is equal to 946.
I'm about to say that's lower than the cities closer, I mean, what you gave us.
What about it?
We're still under that.
What about the 1,000 and 800? We're still way under the 900 and something dollars, if the $500 would be equivalent to now.
What about your council president, because he doesn't make the same as you?
Yeah.
I didn't. 800, 1,000, and 3,000.
Here, about a little.
I'm on this. I've been thinking all day.
Oh, bless your heart.
Then you got fried pies on the break.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you had
I thought we
said
lost
that.
you at fried pies.
Well, I want her number before too.
So you're saying these are monthly figures?
Yeah.
8, 1,000, and 3,000?
Yeah.
So council president is at 60?
Does it affect to the next?
Or is
Okay,
It's 8.
council.
It's 8 right now.
8 right now?
So everybody's bumping up.
It's worth 15 now.
Oh, that's my suggestion.
That's,
You're
Good.
good with it?
yeah, I mean, y'all, whatever y'all want.
Don't keep talking, I'm outside running in.
Okay, to clarify, monthly for council, $800. Council president, $1,000. And the mayor will be $3,000 a month.
Let's
That's
make
what
it
they're.
3,500.
It's just a big
Who
jump.
works full-time hours for a part-time job?
He does, but you don't know if whoever gets his place next time is gonna be that
They
way.
might, and there they may, you don't know.
I like the three.
Remember, the mayor gets his pay from utility board too, but
Yeah.
I would recommend any increase be for the mayor's job, not, and leave that as it is.
Yeah, yeah, let me tell you, I wouldn't forward adding any of that. So,
What, I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said, Mayor. You said leave what as is?
the waterworks.
Waterworks.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
leave
sorry.
that as is.
So if you made the
So
adjustment,
the actual
adjust-
city, only from the city, the mayor will be $3,000 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
okay
what-
with $3,000 a month. I'm not set at 35.
How much would it take for you to stay, Mayor?
Well, he's already said that, but it's.
We know what that
Yeah,
number is.
yeah,
That's how it gets.
I'm trying to get clarification. We got the
Are we voting on it tonight? You
No,
gonna-
I have to do,
No,
we have
but
to do a
that's
resolution, I just, we're trying to
She
get,
needs a number.
get it, all
As far as-
decisions made so I can put it in the resolution. So-
Okay, as far as going up on fees for, I think we're good on that.
25.
We
Stay at
decided last time
25.
on the fees, but what about benefits, y'all?
I would like the option of benefits.
Joy did come into my office today and tell me that if you did do benefits, those who opted out would have to sign a opt-out form
Mhm.
and something else, and those who did, it would still be the same as what they pay for us.
Right.
And you'd have to come in and see her during the open
Open
enrollment.
Yes, she and I had that conversation months ago.
But some of those are some of those are taxable benefits too, right? Or any of those taxable?
Pre-tax benefits?
don't think any
Well, that's
of
what
them are
I'm trying to, I mean, is there
taxable
anything that is a taxable benefit?
I don't have
or-
anything that,
I wouldn't think so.
That
If
gets
nothing else, some of it
taxed.
would be,
I think-
could be, insurance could
I'm
be
not, I
pre-tax.
can't say for sure
Yes.
because that's not
Yeah,
my
yeah,
job, but.
Yeah,
Insurance is pre-tax.
it's
Yeah.
pre-tax, yeah.
All right.
So, you want to add full benefits?
The option,
The option,
the
yeah.
option to be able to opt in.
Okay.
for benefits.
But you said no on cost of living raises last time. You still
That's,
on that?
I'm uncomfortable with that, but if everyone else wants to do it,
No, I,
No.
No,
And
'cause
the
it-
only other one was, if you want, do you want to give an increase when you become a certified municipal officer?
I think that's what we're covering, since we'll all require that anyway. I know
I feel
some
that way
municipalities,
too,
tell
so-
me if I'm wrong, correct me, but I know some municipalities are already doing that, have done it in the past. But since we'll all be required to become
Certified.
certified. Bonafide.
somebody on this council's already certified, isn't she? That's what you
I do the work.
We all look up to you, Sheriff.
Thank you. I try to keep y'all straight.
Is that as clear as it needs to be?
Yeah, if I have any other questions, we can.
Well, I mean, if you have.
I got we got
You got the
the
gist of what we need.
gist of what everybody agrees to, so when I get down to the nitty gritty, we can.
You get enough to do a resolution.
And so everybody knows we have to win another election before we,
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
you see.
this
Yeah,
is-
clarify,
this is-
that's for the next.
This will not go into effect until the next term.
Yes.
The first day of the next term, so
Thank
it's
you.
for the next
Which will be in the-
election,
yeah.
and we have to do this by a certain date,
Right.
because this group has to make the decision for the next
It'll be
group,
November of
regardless of whether or
2025.
not they're gonna be one
November,
of them. or not.
November 2025. Those who take office in November 2025. First Tuesday in November.
I believe so.
First Monday? First of November of
It
2025.
probably is a Monday. Tuesdays is the elections.
Let's work
Mondays.
out that fine.
Okay, that's it.
All right, that's great. Thank you. Thank you all. Moving on to the next item is the Outdoor Fitness Center. I think that's going to be Patricia.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello. So I wanted to come to you tonight to discuss the National Fitness Campaign. As you all know, we were awarded $50,000 from the National Fitness Campaign, which left us with a balance for the actual equipment of $110,000 and the concrete and construction of $47,000 for the city to fund or find other funding sources through grants, sponsorships, or donations. I have applied for $150,000 in grants, but have not yet received notification as of yet from any of those 3 grants that I applied for. But the National Fitness Campaign would like funding confirmation by November 13th for the $110,000 that we owe them in that endeavor. So we need to either decide, the city, or we can request an adjustment to take what we have now of that $50,000 that they granted us and move it to their 2025 funding year. And then that way, if we move it, we can work on other funding options such as reaching out to local businesses, healthcare entities, and the such for sponsorship as I continue to work towards other funding alternatives.
All right, if we defer till 2025.
Yes, sir.
Are we saying that we're committing to come up with 110 at the next time, or? what
No,
are
we can still, like.
We can still decline.
We
if
can still decline. Like right now, you could say, we wanna push it off for another year, or you know what, let's just wash our hands of this. But I really feel that our community is, who we've spoken with, is invested. They are interested. They want something like this. So I personally, from my, from just working with them and who I've talked to and stuff, I think that it would behoove us as a city to try and move it to next year and do our best to, by May or June, be able to have the money to be able to move forward with it. And like I said, in that we can move forward by, they have a whole sponsorship campaign that they will help us come up with, a letter that we could send out to, you know, physical therapy clinics and doctor's offices and RMC and other places that say, hey, we want to put this in Jacksonville, would you like to sponsor it? They'll put your lovely whatever on the side of the art wall. And be part of this. And we do already have one $10,000 commitment from a resident of Jacksonville who wants to be part of this. So we do have that already. So I just need to know what the city council wants to do as far as either saying we wash our hands of it or we want to move it to next year, because I need to tell them.
So procedurally, what would we need to do to move it to next?
I just need to tell her tomorrow or in the next 2 weeks. That's what we want to do,
Just bump
and
it
they'll
to
do it.
25 and then evaluate.
Yeah.
Sounds
You
good.
good? All right.
All right.
I'm excited about it. I can't wait to see it.
Well, not that, I mean, that gives you more opportunities to find some more matching
Yes.
funds.
And I was, Aubrey did notify me today, and I'm sorry I forgot to say this, but Aubrey did notify me today that there are actually some county representatives that she was speaking with that were interested in possibly putting something in the county. And I said, did you mention to them that Jacksonville was interested? And she said, no, because I wanted to see if you would be interested in talking to the county. So I'm hoping tomorrow when her and I have our conversation, she will give me names so that we can somehow, and maybe I can utilize some of you to help me talk to the county representatives and see if they want to maybe chunk some county money towards this, since we are in the county.
Any other questions on this? Okay, if no more other questions left, we're gonna jump into any other business, and Patricia already has.
Other business?
She has other business. That's what I was trying to catch you before you left.
First part of other business that I have is to let you be notified that we have been awarded 2 federal grants in the last month. The first is the fiscal year 2024 COPS hiring grant. It is a matching 50-50 grant to go towards the pay and benefits of one officer over the next 3 years. So that's the first grant that we were awarded. The second grant that we were awarded is a fiscal year 2024 BJA Rural and Small Development Violent Crimes Reduction Initiative grant. It is a non-matching grant, so the city has to give nothing towards this grant, and it is in the amount of $218,728. And this is also a 3-year grant that we will be working on. Actually, our chief and a team will be working on this grant, and we will get that rolling. Hopefully in the next 2 weeks, we will have all of our documentation done and submitted. Everything we've submitted so far has been approved, and we're just waiting for one last thing that should be done in the next week or 2, and then both of these grants will start into their cycles.
So is that your mark for anything, equipment, personnel?
So the violent crime reduction grant is, there's several projects within it. One, it will be, we will be able to purchase 7 new communication devices, upgraded communication devices and radios for the police department that are personal radio devices as well as vehicular radio devices. It also, there's several projects that that we will be working on within the police department, as well as a project with the JSU Department of Criminal Justice and their center up there to do some research on ways to reduce and resolve violent crime within our community. So. And then lastly, last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was that on November 1st, a letter of intent to apply for the Ready Grants to Grow initiative is due. And I was approached a couple of weeks ago and asked if I would look into opportunities to provide transit service grants to Jacksonville. And so I've been doing some research on it over the last couple of weeks, and this Ready Grants to Grow initiative popped up today on my on an email. And so I would like to submit a letter of intent for Jacksonville to support previously proposed transit services for the benefit of our residents. If the letter of intent is accepted, an application will be due February 15th. And so looking at the latest EAR PDC Transit Service Study and Action Plan that I was given, the proposed budget for the 3 years is approximately $715,000, of which the city would be responsible for 30% instead of 50%, due to the fact that we are located in an at-risk county in the Appalachian Basin. And so I wanted to bring this before you guys tonight to get your blessing to proceed with a letter of intent at this point. We should know around December 5th if we have been approved to move forward, and at that time I'll come to you with a more precise budget and plan and all of that.
All right, so the letter of intent is just that we're interested in it.
We're interested
We're
in-
not live, we're not saying, yeah, we're
Yeah,
gonna put the
it's
30%
not,
out.
it's not an application or anything, it's just a, we're interested in receiving this money. Do you think this would be a good project for our community? And go from there.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you looking into that for me.
No problem.
Anything else for
Yes.
before she leaves?
I have nothing else for you tonight.
Wow.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Is there any other business that comes before council? All right, then, we need a short break? I'm asking you.
Man, let's roll on.
Let's roll. All right, let's go. So if you don't want to do a short break, we'll move on. We'll move on to the council meeting part of our
I'm gonna
night.
need a break because
You
I
need
need
a
to
break?
delete that contract.
All
Okay.
right, all right. We'll take
Yeah.
it.
All right, we'll take 5 minutes.
I knew you'd come through.
Do that to tell you that's what
I was gonna touch it out.
You said push through.
Motion, do I have a motion? Do I have a motion?
He had a motion.
A motion, and a second. Very good. You're on top of your games. Appreciate that. Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 8 is the adoption of the agenda. Do we not have an addition or deletion?
Yes, to the main agenda, amend, no, that should be add. Item 10A, consideration of ordinance number O-661-25, amending chapter 24 zoning, article 12, Planning Commission, Division 2, zoning amendments, section 24-771, procedures of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Jacksonville, first reading. Add item 11A, consideration of resolution number R-2225-25 regarding the extension of temporary closure of Church Avenue Northeast between Bennett Boulevard Northeast and 6th Street Northeast and Roebuck Water Street Northeast up to College Apartments. To the consent agenda, add item 25, destruction of records. Number 2, finance. A, FY20 cash collections, business licenses, accounts payable, and accounts receivable, and other records based on the RDA records destruction law per the attached.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Have a motion to accept the agenda as amended?
So moved.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion is second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 9. Item 9 is your opportunity to address the council concerning any agenda item. You will have an opportunity to address the council again later at the meeting. Seeing no one come forward, move on to item 10.
Public hearing regarding CDBG amendment to project number LR-CM-PF-22-003 involving improvements to sanitary sewer system.
All right, I'll now open the public hearing, and I believe we have someone that would like to speak. Just state your name, please.
Yes, my name is Jillian Farmer. I'm here on behalf of the East Alabama Regional Planning and Development Commission. I'm the project coordinator for the CDBG project. We are in need of a formal amendment. This is a project, I believe, from the fiscal year 2022, maybe 2023, I might be wrong there. Essentially, I just have to go over some things, and then if anyone has any comments, feel free to say. But it's just pretty simple. I'm going to try and get through this as fast as I can. It's boring and alphabet soup and numbers. So this is, again, like she mentioned, LR-CM-PF-22-003. This was a sewage rehab project. The construction and the sewage work is already complete. At this point, we just need to close out the project, and we need to finish paying our engineer and our construction sewage contractors. Original budget, let me get that, I'm so sorry. Our original budget was a total project cost of $603,160. And due to, how do I say, the construction bids we received, the lowest we received was still higher than our estimated project cost. So our new budget for this amendment brings the total project cost to $786,882.05. We have unfortunately maxed out on the CDBG funding. They cap out at $500,000. So that adjustment would be coming from the local match, which has already been committed by the water board, I believe. So that local match would be $286,882.05. I do also have to mention the CDBG project. It must benefit low to moderate income communities. So all of the funding that I just mentioned is for low to moderate incomes in the city of Jacksonville. Yeah, I believe that's it. The remaining balances we have, once we get this amendment completed, we have a remaining balance of admin for $32,242, engineering balance of $19,950, and then the remaining for the construction. I apologize. We've already spent on engineering $41,350. On admin, we've spent $13,818, and on sewer,
the actual construction costs, we have already spent $485,276.90. Like I said, lots of boring numbers, lots of alphabet soup, all that good stuff. But that's pretty much everything I have to go over. I had to come here because of ADECA, the state, all that good stuff. It's just a requirement. But if there are any comments, questions, concerns, you can either reach out to me or state here now, all that good stuff.
Is there a document we need to sign?
Yes, I'll pass this to you. If all the council members will please sign this. And then for everyone else that's here, if you will, just before you leave, sign this. Can I move this up here? I have to have this to send to the state. So if you'll just sign your name and your address. And if you do have any comments, you don't want to say them, there's a little space here. You can put any comments.
320 Church Avenue. It's 320 Church Avenue, right?
Yes, she still needs to sign ours.
320 Church Avenue. Is that the right address?
320 Church Avenue, Southeast.
See, okay. I was like, it sounds right.
I just say City Hall. City Hall.
Okay, anyone like to, else to speak on this matter? Okay, no one come forward, we'll close the public hearing and move on to item 10A.
Consideration of ordinance number O-661-25, amending Chapter 25 zoning, Article 12, Planning Commission, Division 2, zoning amendments, Section 24-771, procedures of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Jacksonville, first reading.
All right, thank you, ma'am. No action for us to take. Moving on to item 11.
Consideration of resolution number R-2224-25 to award bid number 24-12, JPWP number 23-116, hospital lift station and sewer line repairs to Video Industrial Services Incorporated.
So moved.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 11A.
Consideration of resolution number R-2225-25 regarding the extension of temporary closure of Church Avenue Northeast between Bennett Boulevard Northeast and 6th Street Northeast and Roebuck Water Street Northeast up to College Apartments.
So moved. I have a motion, do I have a second? Motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none?
I was gonna say Chief Barton's here. I don't know if there's anything he needed to address.
Would you like to add?
Well, we appreciate the council's consideration and approval of this. Apparently there is some sewer issues, is my understanding, and having to upgrade some of that, so that's what pushes them beyond the original 60-day to the 90-day. And we have stressed the importance, talked to the mayor and the chief last week, and stressed the importance to the construction company to meet this deadline. So they have been notified. Hopefully all will go well. There's no unexpected problems.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
I've been requested to read this out loud. Resolution number R-2225-25, extension of temporary closure of Church Avenue Northeast between Bennett Boulevard Northeast and 6th Street Northeast and Roebuck Water Street Northeast up to College Apartments. Whereas the City of Jacksonville, Alabama, by resolution number R-2219-24, adopted on August 26, 2024, temporarily closed Church Avenue Northeast between Bennett Boulevard Northeast and 6th Street Northeast and along Roebuck Water Street Northeast up to College Apartments beginning August 21st, 2024 and ending October 25th, 2024 for the construction of the Randy Owen Performing Arts Center, ROC, located at 230 7th Street Northeast, and received a request on August 6, 2024 from Jacksonville State University's Chief of Police, Director of Public Safety, Michael S. Barton, regarding the portion of Church Avenue Northeast in the area of the construction site for the Randy Owens Performing Arts Center, ROC, located at 230 7th Street Northeast. And whereas on October 24th, 2024, the City of Jacksonville received a request to extend the above-mentioned road closure for an additional 30 days until November 27th, 2024. Now therefore be it resolved that the Mayor and the City Council of the City of Jacksonville, Alabama, find that it is in the best interest of the public and do hereby assent and approve the extension of the temporary closure of Church Avenue Northeast between Bennett Boulevard Northeast and 6th Street Northeast and Roebuck Water Street Northeast, ending November 27, 2024, to help promote safety for motorists, pedestrians, and construction workers and heavy machinery. Passed and adopted this 28th day of October 2024, signed by the City Council, approved by Mayor Johnny L. Smith, and attested by City Clerk Brenda Long.
Thank you, ma'am. We have a motion, we have a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 12.
Consider action to approve JPWP number 25-132, filter tanks media replacement at Big Springs per the attached.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 13.
Consider action to authorize the mayor to sign the agreement with K&D Adventures LLC per the attached.
So moved.
Have a motion and a second.
I thought we were deleting this.
No, we went ahead, I think you two were out in the crowd.
Oh.
Mayor Mayor asked me to go
We do
ahead.
have an issue the way that's worded though, it's got to be attached.
Yeah.
Y'all are still
Nothing.
reviewing the attached, we're just authorizing you to.
Right, we're just,
Can we somehow delete that from still
Per the
being ordered?
attached.
Yeah.
Delete that. Delete per the attached.
Yeah,
We can.
because it's not,
So consider
Not-
action to authorize the mayor to sign the agreement with K&D Adventures LLC.
all right, thank you. Now give me a,
So moved.
Second.
and a motion and a second. All right. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 14.
Consider action to authorize the mayor to sign the Clearview AI agreement per the attached.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 15.
Consider action to authorize the mayor to sign the agreement with East Alabama Regional Planning and Development Commission for FY 2025 ADA paratransit services per the attached.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 16.
Consider action to authorize the mayor to sign the service agreement with Easton Parker per the attached.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 17.
Consider action to authorize the mayor to sign the service agreement with Ray Hawthorne per the attached.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 18.
Consider action to authorize the mayor on behalf of the Waterworks Gas and Sewer Board to sign the service agreement with Mark Ford per the attached.
So moved.
Second.
A motion is second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 19.
Consider action to approve the employment of the following: Jason Christopher Tiedemann, full-time firefighter paramedic, range 11A, effective upon compliance with ordinance number 273, new position. Item B, Ethan Bryce Floyd, full-time firefighter EMT, range 11, effective upon compliance with ordinance number 273, new position. Item C, Houston Keith Conger, full-time firefighter, range 9, effective upon compliance with ordinance number 273, new position.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 20.
Consider action to approve the transition of the following: A, Sydney Michael Pointer, full-time firefighter EMT, range 11, effective October 30th, 2024, new position. Mr. Pointer is currently a part-time firefighter EMT.
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 21.
Consider action to approve the termination of the following: Zachary Kerr, Parks and Recreation laborer, effective immediately.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Consent agenda.
Item 22, budget amendment requests. Item 23, purchases over $7,500. Item 24, disposition of surplus property. And item 25, destruction of records.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and 2 seconds, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item 26 is your opportunity to address the council. This is public comments for any general item. If you'd like to address the council, it's time to come to the podium, state your name and address. I see someone that thinks they may want to come up. Just make sure you state your name and address and then get with a clerk here before you leave.
Awesome. Hi guys, hi council. I just wanted to introduce myself to you guys. I'm Elizabeth Ray. I go to Jacksonville State University. I am the SGA, the new SGA Community Ambassador. So if you need anything, I'll be at all the meetings, and just feel free to tell me anything that you might want to be told to the SGA. So thank you guys.
Well, thank you.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
Does anyone else like to address the council? All right, seeing no one else come forward, we'll move on to item 27, council member remarks.
I know that we have several first responders in the room with us today, and former first responder as council president, and today being National First Responders Day, I think it's appropriate to just say thank you so much to all of you and to your departments for what you do to serve in times of need, in times of crisis. And even at times like Officer Reagan play basketball with kids in the community, and I think that certainly demonstrates just what you all do on a daily basis. I know there's still some of the community safety classes, maybe that the fire department, there's a few of those that are coming up. I don't know if all those are full or not, but thank you all for offering those type things that can save the life of a loved one, and just demonstrating how you work together. I know that our school superintendent and school board members here at our cross-country team at Jacksonville High School had the county championship, and the girls were runner-up, and the boys were fourth. And as I understand, there were several who placed in the top 15, I think it was. So that's wonderful. Congratulations. And to the football team, for the 13th year in a row, they have made the High School Athletic Association playoffs, which means the class of 2025 has never not made the playoffs. If that makes any sense from a school system standpoint. But what a great opportunity for a school, not just the football team, but that's the band, the cheerleaders, the community, the families that support them. That's wonderful, and I think that's something that's to be celebrated. And I know Chief Barton is here, but and Jack State SGA is here too. It was wonderful to have that opportunity for the councilwoman mayor to be recognized Wednesday night, and I'm personally grateful for that opportunity, and certainly hope that Leah gets that message back. So, thank you.
When is the next game? Jacksonville High School football?
Friday at Anderson.
Who y'all playing?
Anderson.
Playing at Anderson. We do not know who we will play in the first round of playoffs, but last seasonal game is Friday.
Okay.
We do know first round will be on the road.
We will be on the road.
Yeah, so.
You weren't trying to take any credit for being the voice of this winning streak.
Not at all.
Okay, I'm just checking.
I'm come lately here, you know.
Chief Barton, Jacksonville's going to Liberty? Yes. Okay. Go Gamecocks.
That's right.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Anything else? I'd just like to, if you've noticed, Ms. Grant is not here tonight. She's had an issue with a family member. Just keep her and her family in your thoughts and prayers, if you don't mind. Thank you. That's all I have. Mayor?
I just say the announcer at the football game does a pretty good job too with all that. That's all I have. Thank you.
All right. If there's nothing, is there any other business that needs to come before the council?
Well, he actually does have a lot of other stuff he's supposed to do on his mayor's report.
Roll that bean footage there.
We put it up there. I think we've gone over all these things before, but we'll just go through them.
Let the minutes show that you covered it.
Yeah. I think they had a pretty good, I didn't make this.
It's tomorrow.
Oh, it's tomorrow. That's why I didn't make it. I don't have an excuse then, I know. 6 to 7:30, trail track. Not so haunted, so maybe I can handle it. I don't know what's next. Monday, November 11th, Veterans Day holiday for us. Everybody's got that on the calendar already. I'm sorry, I really don't have these things up here. I'm just trying to see what you have.
We'll be meeting on Tuesday that week.
Tuesday, council meeting will be
The
Tuesday
12th.
instead of Monday night. Christmas Village is always a huge event for us, so we put that on your calendar. Try to do all your Christmas shopping at the community center that day, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then lighting the square is probably coming up. Oh no, something else. Yeah, just I think everybody will be ready to have some turkey and dressing and stuff. So Thanksgiving holidays are coming up as well. Lighting the square 5:30 on December 2nd, followed by the Christmas parade the next night. So I think that's probably it. No, yeah, there it is. Toys for Tots. I don't know date on that. So
He didn't give us a date, but we've got a box out in the lobby.
So we'll be collecting them out in the lobby until whatever date they pick them up. That's all I have. That's
Thank
not
you,
more
sir.
than I have.
Thank you, sir, for that
That's
fine
a
report.
lot.
That's all right.
Years of experience, sir. Okay, now, is there any other business that needs to come before the council?
Everyone just remember to sign my paper before they leave.
Yeah, please sign the papers. All right, if there's nothing else,
So moved to.
we got a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
A motion to adjourn, got a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. Thank you all, have a safe night, and thank you for being here.